Spider-Man 1994 had a lot of cool moments, a lot of nostalgic moments. Depending on how old you are, the 90s Spidey show may have been the one you grew up with, and its massive success led to the expansion of the franchise to what we see today. I mean, that iconic theme song is one of my favorite pieces of music ever, dude. One episode always stood out to me from this show, and that was the time Tombstone attacked Aunt May, and Spidey went absolute beast mode hunting him down and bringing him to justice. Titled simply Tombstone, the episode starts out as any other, introducing Tombstone in his third and final appearance in the series, hired by Alyssa Silvermane to kill a Daily Bugle story incriminating her and her father Silvermane and their dirty business. At the Daily Bugle, the episode unleashes a whole boatload of foreshadowing, as we see that Robbie is preparing the hit piece. He also shows a different piece to Peter about the gang violence in the city, and a picture of his son Randy is shown to us, implying something is going to happen. Ooh. And cut to Randy Robertson getting initiated by a bunch of gang thugs when Spider-Man stops them. How convenient! You know, it's not exactly foreshadowing if it predicts the thing that's going to happen in 5 seconds, folks. Don't you love the 90s CGI buildings? Actually, it doesn't look too bad now that I see it again. And man, neither does that suit, or that webbing fluid.
Was it right for me to just let Randy go like that? Poor Robbie. He can't possibly have any idea what his son's been up to.
Damn, that's clean. Cut to Tombstone, breaking down Aunt May's door and looking for Parker. Look, Tombstone was always a badass villain. As I mentioned in my Spectacular Spider-Man Villains Ranked video, he was at his peak in that show. But even here, he definitely comes off as threatening and creepy, with the albino skin and the sharp teeth.
I'm calling the police!
Be my guest.
Damn, bro's just aura farming at this point. He's after Peter's photos of Silvermane's daughter, which he finds and leaves with. When Spidey arrives, he sees Aunt May has been attacked and goes absolutely crazy. Bro finds Tombstone's car somehow in a sea of others on the bridge. Bro lands on top of the car and, oh man, you just gotta see this for yourself.
Over! Yeah, I forgot. You and Parker are buddies.
Where do you get off attacking defenseless old ladies? Is that how you get your jollies?
Love that. Spidey should always be this bulky in my opinion. Fits his aura so much better. They trade blows as Tombstone knocks Spidey into a car. Spidey webs him up, Tombstone breaks out of it like it's nothing, and throws him into the water below. And somehow gets away amidst all the chaos. Dude, this man saw Aunt May in trouble and he hunted that rockhead down like it was nothing. Made the man crash, and nearly beat him for good. But even here, Tombstone is no joke, that's for sure. Cut back to the gang and Randy, and you just gotta love the 90s depiction of street gangs. Look kids, these guys are scary. They wear spooky bandanas and high-five each other after making fun of people's looks. At least they call a gun a strap, you gotta give them that. They want to kill Spidey once and for all. I bet that'll work. These guys have earrings after all. Peter consoles Aunt May, the whole reason he went beast mode earlier, and comforts her a bit after the fight. He finds out that Tombstone took the photos and swings out to Robbie's after remembering that he has the only other copy. Randy comes home to grab his dad's gun and is caught in the act, sparking a kind of awkwardly written fight between father and son.
What is this? You're not in that gang, are you? Are you?
What if I am? At least they care about me.
And you think we don't?
Yeah, they care about you. Bro, what are you, 5? Just as Spidey swoops down, Tombstone calls Robbie, and damn, that design is terrifying. Robbie leaves to meet with Tombstone after he gets rattled, and Spidey comes along for the ride. Apparently they were old friends, but Tombstone wants Robbie to kill the Silvermane story, which he won't do. And so they fight, but Spider-Man comes to the rescue, and once again gets in a tussle with Tombstone. The whole place ends up crumbling around them, separating them once again. And so Robbie tells the backstory of Tombstone. Before he became the pale-skinned superpowered freakazoid, they grew up together. Tombstone's real name was Lonnie Lincoln. And the usual, he was the delinquent, Robbie was the goody two-shoes, blah blah blah. Lonnie gets arrested and Robbie gets away, and when they grow up, they go their separate ways. Robbie becomes a reporter after he graduates, and Lonnie ends up as a blue-collar worker after he gets out of prison. They meet up, but after Tombstone tries to frame him and set him up, they fight, and Lonnie falls into a vat of chemical liquid, and that's when he became Tombstone. Obviously, a lot of tropes used to make this backstory happen, lots of cliches, and ultimately the whole fell into a vat of ooze cliche is probably the weakest one since Jamie Foxx fell into a vat of electric eels. But this is a video about Spidey going sicko mode. Let's get back to that. Tombstone links up with Randy and the gang of thugs and calls Robbie to announce the hostage situation he set up at the chemical plant where they last squabbled. Spidey follows suit after getting an expositional reminder to actually fight Tombstone properly this time from Madam Web. Robbie arrives to see Tombstone recording his son committing crime as blackmail if he doesn't cover up the Silvermane story. And Robbie still refuses, showing his true integrity. Problem with this show is the painfully obvious dialogue that explains every single plot element to death.
Kill the Silvermane story.
I won't do it.
There you go with that integrity stuff again. But deep down, you're just like me.
I'm not.
Think what we could do together.
Yeah, we got that. It's like if in The Dark Knight, the Joker told Batman, "You complete me, because you represent law and structured morality, and I represent anarchic distillation of institutional power." Our ideological binaries create a necessary dialectic that propels the narrative tension forward. Without you, I would simply be committing crimes without narrative contrast. I'm so glad we have solid writers to use visual metaphors to metaphorize our inner themes rather than explain them like the audience is 3 years old. Spidey shows Randy what an idiot he's being and how his dad is trying to save him, and they all fight Tombstone together. Spidey finally uses his head and fights Brawn with brains, and a little Brawn too, and Tombstone is defeated in a final confrontation.
Dad, come on! We gotta get out of here before the police come!
We're not going to run, son. We're gonna stay here and face the consequences. Together.
Okay, better job on the dialogue. This is a solid ending. In the end, things work out for everyone, including Spider-Man, who rekindles his belief in the human spirit. I think this episode truly shines in the first confrontation, when Spidey just goes absolutely beast mode on Tombstone after Aunt May is threatened. We never really see Spider-Man in that kind of rage-induced fight before, and I kinda mess with it. The rest of the episode is pretty generic. I mean, the concept is cool, but it's overrun with cliches, cheap dialogue, and overused tropes that it kinda comes off as half-assed. The ending is nice, and it was a cool exploration of typically unseen characters in this show. And with that, we've delved into the Spider-Man world once again, folks. Be sure to check out my last Spider-Man video, ranking all the spectacular Spider-Man villains, and for more 94 content, or Spidey content in general, check out my whole playlist of Spidey videos with links below. Can you think of moments when Spidey was more badass in this episode? Let me know in the comments down below, leave a like on the video if you enjoyed, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'll see you guys in the next one.